We start in the US, where the most senior lawmaker in the Republican Party, the House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, is facing a threat from one of his own to oust him from his job. Representative Matt Gaetz is a member of the party's right-wing branch and has attempted to use a motion to vacate a vote which could remove McCarthy from his post as Speaker of the House of Representatives. There are deep divisions within the Republican Party about a spending bill that passed over the weekend, which prevented the US government from plunging into shutdown. Well, that vote concerned the Speaker. McCarthy could come as early as today. Here's a little of what Matt Gaetz had to say just a little earlier.
The gentleman will state the form of his resolution.
Declaring the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives to be vacant. Resolved that the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives is hereby declared to be vacant.
Well, this is all to do with the spending bill which passed by the Speaker McCarthy over the weekend, an agreement which helped the US government avoid plunging into a shutdown. But Matt Gaetz has accused McCarthy of doing a side deal with the White House over funding for Ukraine, which he denies. It would take a simple majority in the House, which Republicans control by a narrow margin. But it is a risky move because, historically speaking, this measure has only been used twice and never successfully. The leadership technically, well, it has 2 days to bring this measure to a vote. It's been reported this afternoon that it could happen as early as the next few hours. So let's go live to our correspondent in Washington, Barbara Plett-Usher. And Barbara, in terms of the timings, are you hearing anything more about when we might see this vote?
Matthew, we are expecting the vote to start happening this afternoon, so in the next couple of hours. What the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, has talked about is to table the motion to vacate. That's very procedural language in Congress, but essentially what it means is the vote is going to be about whether to kill this idea of voting to oust him. If he gets support for that, then it's done. If he doesn't get support for that, then they do actually have to go and vote on the motion itself. And the point here is that it's unlikely that he will be able to win this vote with the support of only Republicans. The vast majority of the Republicans do support him, but there are a number of these right-wing hardliners who don't. And so he will probably need the support of Democrats. And we have had strong indications from the Democrats who've been meeting about it this morning that they are unlikely to do so.
So where does that then take us, do you think?
Well, it's a bit difficult to say where we're going because this is quite an unprecedented move, and the whole House has really been so chaotic for the past week in this fight over the spending bill, and this is now the coda or the next chapter. But first of all, if the Democrats some of them do support him, then it will go away. As I mentioned, those Democrats who have been speaking publicly about this have been pretty clear that they don't trust Mr. McCarthy. He's reneged on a budget deal that he made earlier in the year that together with the Democrats, they feel that he's not able to govern. They say that the House has been lurching from crisis to crisis as he's given into the right wing. One of them said this is a Republican problem, not a Democratic problem. Let them wallow in the pigsty of their incompetence. So that's the view from the Democrat side. If Mr. McCarthy does lose the vote, then everything stops. And they have to start procedures to elect a new Speaker of the House. And they have to keep doing that. Well, first of all, they have to find somebody to put forward, and then they have to keep voting on it until they get someone, because the business of the House cannot go forward without the Speaker.
And incredibly, that would almost take us back to where this all started, because one remembers several rounds of votes to actually install Kevin McCarthy in the first place.
There was a huge drama about that in January, as you're referring to. He went through 15 rounds of votes until finally he got enough to just squeak by. But the Republican congressman who has triggered this vote to get rid of him never in the end voted for him. He just voted present and allowed it to go through. That was the whole opposition from these right-wing hardliners who were holding him hostage, basically saying, you've got to promise this, this, and this in order to get our support to become Speaker. And they say they got promises that Mr. McCarthy would slash spending. And then they said now that the fact that he went along with Democrats to pass a bill that would keep the government funded against their wishes showed that he wasn't keeping his promise. So yes, we will get back to some sort of drama about who is actually going to be leading the Congress, the United States government.
Well, Barbara, it is clearly very fluid, so it is going to be a busy next few hours. So we will talk again in the next little while. But thanks for the latest there, live from Washington.